In a move of calculated precision, President Trump has just ordered a 90-day suspension of most global tariffs. Like a cool breeze sweeping across a market stretched tight as a wire, the immediate impact was explosive. The Dow Jones surged over 800 points, while the S&P 500 jumped 1.9% in its first session after the announcement. It was a clear sigh of relief from investors, a brief pause in what had become a looming global trade war. But don't be mistaken, Trump didn't ease up on China. Far from it. He slammed Chinese imports with a staggering 125% tariff, his most aggressive move since the beginning of the trade battle. As CNN's Richard Quest put it, this is a high-stakes game of tit for tat, but maybe, just maybe, a quiet signal that both sides are searching for an off-ramp behind the scenes. China, however, showed no sign of backing down. Beijing declared it would fight to the end, ready to endure a prolonged deadlock. Some analysts even suggested that the 125% figure might be exactly what China expected, a price they're willing to pay just to keep the negotiation door cracked open. Amid the financial chaos, Trump's 90-day suspension came after the market witnessed a wipeout of over $6.4 trillion and a storm of criticism from top economists. Treasury officials scrambled to contain the panic, claiming the new 10% global tariff cap would help stabilize things. But analysts weren't buying it. They warned even that cap was too high, continuing to erode global trade confidence bit by bit. Meanwhile, over 75 countries rushed to Washington, desperate to negotiate exemptions or relief. Mexico and Canada emerged as the big winners, securing tariff cuts down to 10%. China, on the other hand, didn't make the list. Its exports remain crushed under the brutal 125% tariff, a textbook punishment for earlier retaliations. And just when you thought the drama couldn't get any weirder, Trump brought eggs into the spotlight. Yes. Eggs. While Biden struggled to fulfill his campaign promise of lowering egg prices, Trump returned to Twitter last week and retweeted, "Shut up about the eggs." That's right, Trump, the self-proclaimed egg protector. A man who can slam China with 125% tariffs and still weigh in on omelets. Sure, eggs may not be as important as global trade wars, but wasn't Trump also the one who promised $5 trillion in 3 weeks with his trade initiative? Now he's manufacturing not just products, but a recession. Trump doesn't just want to bring back manufacturing to America, he seems dead set on manufacturing a disaster. Ironically, he once claimed that re-electing Biden would spell economic doom, but now, the chaos? It's all him. And when it comes to Trump's masculinity cult, the manosphere, comedian Bill Maher had his own wild take. He joked that Trump is so masculine, he could jerk off 2 guys at once while dancing to the Village People, and still be seen as a macho icon. A scathing satire of how Trump has crafted his image as the ultimate tough guy, no matter how bizarre the optics. Then there's the tariff wheel. Imagine Trump spinning it like a roulette table, each day slapping a new country with tariffs, then crying foul when they respond. How dare you do to me what I just did to you? It's a never-ending economic game of, what goes around, comes around, only Trump acts shocked every time. And don't forget, the ones paying the price are American citizens. Every move meant to look strong ends up weakening the economy, hurting workers, and sending global confidence into a tailspin. Bill Maher summed it up perfectly. Trump is like the worst birthday gift that keeps coming back. For 25 years, Maher says he's mocked Trump, and somehow, the gift still keeps arriving. Now, we're watching the economy spiral. Trump's decision to impose a 104% tariff on China after a brief recovery has plunged the market into deeper chaos. Trillions more were wiped out. All signs point to a looming recession, with rising unemployment, high inflation, and a stock market teetering on collapse. At a chaotic press conference, Trump didn't stop at tariffs. He also lashed out at Germany, mocking their shift to renewable energy. They went to wind, he said, the wind wasn't blowing too much. But it's his own wind that's blowing America toward disaster. Then came the baseless attack on Canada. Trump accused them of drug trafficking and killing Americans with fentanyl, without any evidence. Canada responded swiftly. Prime Minister Mark Carney made it clear, "I will reject all attempts to weaken Canada, to wear us down, to break us down." Even Doug Ford, once a Trump ally, slammed him, saying, "The fault lies entirely with Trump." Across Europe and Asia, countries are distancing themselves from the US. Former allies are now building stronger ties with rivals like China. America's influence is shrinking, and Trump's trade war has become a symbol of unpredictability on the world stage. So what does Trump do when inflation rises, gas prices soar, and unemployment grows? He raises tariffs. Instead of fixing real issues like tax reform or supporting workers, he distracts the public with economic chaos. The "Make America Great Again" dream? It's become "Make Recession Real Fast." Trump's economic playbook is all smoke and mirrors. And now, the world sees through the illusion. As actor Robert De Niro bluntly said, "He's so stupid, he can't even say anything clever." What began as laughter turned to concern, as De Niro reminded the audience that history is full of clowns, like Hitler and Mussolini, who weren't taken seriously until it was too late. So while Trump spins his tariff wheel, makes jokes about eggs, and pushes America closer to economic collapse, the world watches and waits. Because this isn't just satire anymore. It's reality. Trump tried to act tough, but Diro didn't flinch. His sharp comeback, "I want to punch him in the face," wasn't just funny, it floored the crowd. Trump, who loves calling himself smarter than generals and doctors, was left speechless, probably Googling the word "stupid." Then came the meltdown. Trump, red-faced, demanded silence, declaring, "Don't ever talk to the president like that." But Kimmel and Diro turned the tough guy into a tantrum-throwing child in a supermarket. Desperate to claw back relevance, Trump called Kimmel a loser, telling a sad story about him supposedly bowing on the sidewalk. But it backfired. Instead of looking strong, Trump looked petty. While Trump played verbal slap fights in Hollywood, China made its move. After new US tariffs, China halted $2.4 billion worth of LNG imports from the US overnight. Australia stepped in with a 15-year, $1.5 billion deal. Their gas is cheaper, faster to ship, and now, strategically smarter. Europe, hungry for energy post-Ukraine, gladly took in China's redirected LNG. The US? Left with unsold gas, cancelled contracts, and ballooning costs. Trump insisted America would come back stronger, but the Dow tanked over 1,200 points, the worst since 2020. J.P. Morgan raised recession odds to 60%. Even Fox News turned, calling it a poorly executed disaster. And yet, Trump boarded Air Force One, boasting not about recovery or relief, but his golf game. While Americans lose jobs and hope, he swings a club and calls it strategy.